Howdy everyone, Ranger Sly here, and today is the second part of the haul video. I started with all the DC books I bought in the last couple of months, and today I'm showing the Marvels and also some issues from other companies like Dell and Charlton and Prize Comics. So we started with a new book, which is a rare thing for me. This came out a few months ago, I think. Marvel Snapshots, Submariner, which is a one-shot. This is a story set in post-World War II, and it features Submariner, who is suffering from some form of PTSD, and some of the former invaders have to intervene with him. It's a good story, drawn by Jerry Ordway, and like I said, written by Alan Brennert, who is an award-winning science fiction writer and also a Emmy-winning TV writer. He wrote a few comic books in the past, and I get the impression he really does it when he feels and likes to do it, because he must get more big money from TV. Next up is Ghost Rider number 31, a series I don't really collect. Somebody else showed this on YouTube, I don't remember who. It's from December 1976. I wanted this issue first for the cover. It's a Jack Kirby cover, but just a Jack Kirby cover wouldn't be enough. It also features one of my favorite Daredevil villain, the Gladiator, up here. And the inside story was the thing that sealed the deal. The inside art is by Gil Kane, so you cannot go wrong. Probably my only Ghost Rider in my collection. Next up is 2 issues of Marvel featuring Red Sonja. I remember seeing this cover as a kid, and I was fascinated by the big bear monster, the bear god. And since I've started to collect anyway Red Sonja, at least the Bronze Age Red Sonjas drawn by the great Frank Thorne, so I was very happy to bring this in my collection. I'm missing only 1 issue from the Marvel feature series, and I've just bought the last 2 missing issue I was missing from the Red Sonja regular series that came after this one. So this one is from July 1976, and the story inside, as I said, is drawn by Frank Thorne and written by Bruce Jones, a writer I like very much. And this is the next issue after that, after the Bear God, the Serpent God. So this is number 6 from September 1976. Very nice Frank Thorne art. Next up, one of the rare romance I will have in my collection. I wish I could add more, but romance books are becoming very expensive. People are discovering there was some great art inside, and they have a kind of cool retro feeling to them. So this is My Love Volume 2, because there was a series at Marvel in 1949 called also My Love. So this is Volume 2, number 4. I really paid the amount here, $15 Canadian, for it. And I was happy to pay that because it's a nice condition with beautiful John Romita cover, and the art inside is all new stories by John Buscema, Don Eck, and Gene Colan. Yeah. Okay, the next few books are all the early issues of the New Mutants from the Bill Sienkiewicz run. I really was not a X-Men or Mutant fan back then, so I passed when it first came out. Even though one of my friend Eric, who is also my editor, I remember him telling me about the cool Bill Sienkiewicz art inside, and I love Bill Sienkiewicz because of his work on Moon Knight. On Moon Knight he started as a Neil Adams clone, but as issues came out he started to develop his own style, a little bit more eccentric and expressive, and I think he exploded with the New Mutants. So this is the first issue drawn by him, with a story by Chris Claremont, of course, and it's the beginning of the Demon Bear series. I didn't jump in because of the new movie about the New Mutants, which is also about the Demon Bear story. I really wanted to go back and look at Bill Sienkiewicz work, and I've read these and I really like them. So I'm gonna continue buying just Bill Sienkiewicz run. That was a cool cover, this one, eh? With the bear monster, bear demon. So I bought a lot that featured the 4 first issues, and this is a double-sized one that introduces Warlock into the team of New Mutants. He actually appeared in the issue before, I think, but this is the issue he becomes a New Mutant. I already ordered the 2 or 3 following issues, so they will probably be on the next haul video. Okay, Thor Annual number 7. I bought it mostly because Walter Simonson was doing the cover and inside art, and I still think that Walter Simonson did the definitive Thor series in the 80s. He's the best since Kirby, and since then to have worked on Thor. He made Thor a best-selling series for Marvel at the time. This features the Eternals. I'm a big fan of Jack Kirby's Eternals, but I feel that they should belong in their own universe. Jack Kirby didn't feature Marvel characters in the Eternals. You're gonna say, wait, Ranger Sly, Hulk was in the issue? No, Hulk was not in the issue. It was a robot of Hulk. So it could have been in an alternate universe where they read Hulk comics and somebody decided to build a Hulk monster robot. This was a very disappointing issue. It won't stay in my collection. The story is badly written by Roy Thomas, and the Eternals don't fit well with the rest of the mythology in Marvel because, first of all, Eternals have Greek god names also, like Macari, who is Mercury, of course. There's an Eternal called Tina, who is Athena. The leader is called Zuras for Zeus. So it doesn't work well. So it's going out of my collection. It's not staying. It's not a good issue anyway. Roy Thomas, the only explanation he came up for the Greek god, because Hercules is a Greek god, and the reason because the Greek gods and the Eternals have similar name is just coincidence. They're not really linked or anything, so it doesn't make sense to me. And also the art inside. The cover is by Walter Simonson by himself, ink and drawn. But inside he's inked by Ernie Chan. But to me, Walter Simonson needs to be inked by himself. And Ernie Chan just make Walter Simon's art look like John Buscema, which is not bad, but when you want some Walter Simonson, you want some Walter Simonson, not some pseudo John Buscema. So yeah, it's going out of my collection. I'm not keeping this. It's Tower of Shadows number 9 from January 1971. This is the last issue of Tower of Shadows. After that, it's changed titles. It became Creatures on the Loose with number 10. This is a Bernie Wrightson cover. I don't know about you guys, but I think his covers at Marvel were much less inspired than his work at DC. Anyway, not his best work, I think. There's a new story inside based on a H.P. Lovecraft story, and the art is by Tom Palmer, who is usually only an inker. And there's a few reprints also, not bad ones. One by Jack Kirby, one by Steve Ditko, and one by Don Eck. So not bad. And the last Marvel, or should I say Atlas, is my favorite Atlas series. It's Western Kid number 11 from August 1956. With a cover by John Severin and 4 short stories by John Romita, Sr., of course. This is one series I would like to get all 17 issues. I got 5 so far, including number 1, so 12 to go. They're difficult to search on eBay because the title Western Kid, if you just type Western Kid, you're gonna get all the Western comic books out there from all the eras. They all add either Western or Kid in their name. So it's hard to search for this series in particular. Okay, next up, some Charltons. I was lucky to get from a Canadian seller. This is Outlaws of the West number 64 from May 1967. It's the first appearance of Captain Doom. You see the name here, Captain Doom. This is the guy on the cover. And I don't know if you get the same feeling as me, but I think this might have been the inspiration or the prototype for Jonah X, because both of these guys are wearing a Confederate uniform. They're both drifters and kind of bounty hunters, justice giver, and all that. And both of them are crippled, of course. Jonah X is his face is crippled, and Captain Doom has his arm crippled. He's missing an arm. And Captain Doom appeared about 5 years before Jonah X. Jonah X first appeared in February 1972 in All-Star Western number 10, volume 2. And so yeah, this is from May 1967, so 5 years before. I might do a video about Captain Doom when I complete the run. This is the next issue, number 66, from September 67. Both of the covers are by Rocky Mastroserio, who was one of the best Charlton artists, aside from the classic Ditkos and Dick Giordano. But most of the art inside is by some of the worst artists at Charlton, but they were very prolific and productive, so they did a lot of work in the comics at Charlton. I'm talking about Charles Nicholas and inker Vince Alacia. Very bad art. This is number 67 from November 67. And finally, last Charlton. Let's remove these ones. Is Gunfighters Number 52. There were only 2 issues back then of Gunfighters. It was formerly known as Kid Montana for 50 issues, and then they had 2 issues of Gunfighters, and then the series stopped for many years, and during the late Bronze Age, Charlton bring back the name Gunfighters and continued the numbers, but it was an all reprint series. So this was an above average typical Charlton Western. First of all, the writing was all done by Steve Skeets, who is a very good writer, who worked at DC also in the Bronze Age. And the art inside was by one story by Luis Dominguez, one by Jim Aparo, very nice, and one by a veteran Carl Hubble, who was a veteran from the Golden Age, and his name might be familiar to readers of Silver Age Sergeant Fury and Rawhide Kid. He was an inker on both of those series. Okay, on to some Prize Comics. This is Prize Comics Western number 80 from March-April 1950. So this is a thick, 10 cents, big 52 pages, don't take less. Don't you like Golden Age books? You really had some good stuff for your money. Inside, there's supposed to be a Jack Kirby story, a character named Dusty Bellew. Some apps and some price guides and all that, they say it's by Jack Kirby, sometimes with a interrogation point, because I've read it and I'm not convinced it's Jack Kirby. I think it was somebody trying to look like Jack Kirby, but the dynamics and the layout is not typical of Jack Kirby and Joe Simon, but the guy really was trying to make it look like Jack Kirby. But there are many stories by the spectacular team of John Severin and Bill Elder. By the way, if you're a John Severin fan like me, you want to collect this series, because after in the early issues it was photo covers like this, but after that John Severin did most of the covers and also most of the art inside. He drew many different features, most of the time inked by Bill Elder, and they make a great team. The other Prize comics I have, it's a much later one with fewer pages inside. It's Fargo Kid number 4 from August-September 1958. As you see here, John Severin cover and most of the art inside. So that's cool. And to finish it up, a few Dells, a few 4 colors, which was a series by Dell where each issue was a different feature, and it came out some months they were 4 to 6 different 4-color issues. So this is number 814. It's Walt Disney's Covered Wagon Ho. It's a nice story, nothing spectacular, with the cover and art by Tony Strobel. It's okay, but it's not color barks. So I bought it mostly because of the Western theme. I like cartoon books with Western themes. And the last 2 books features a TV series I had never seen until I learned that Alex Toth did the art on some of the issues. So I was curious and saw the first episode of 77 Sunset Strip, and it features a guy here, Ed Cookie Burns. In the first episode, this character doesn't exist yet, and the same actor plays a very dark and spooky villain, and charismatic also. So I guess he did such a great job that they had to invite him back and make him a supporting cast member, but he became almost the star of the series because he got a lot of more fan mail than the 2 main characters, played by Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. and Roger Smith. And he was a phenomenon. They actually even did a hit novelty song in 1959 called Cookie, Lend Me Your Comb, with actress Connie Stevens. So yeah, it was a big success. The first 2 77 Sunset Strip issues at Dell were drawn by Alex Toth. This is the second one, so it's number 1106. And this is the third one he drew, number 1159, from April 1961. I'm missing the first one, and the art after the first 3 issues by Alex Toth was done by Ross Manning for the next 3 issues in 4-color, and also a one-shot by Dell of 77 Sunset Strip, also drawn by Ross Manning. And when Gold Key got the license to continue, there were 2 issues of 77 Sunset Strip, also drawn by Ross Manning, who is not a bad artist. He's not Alex Toth, but Ross Manning was a very good artist. He was one of the artists on the Tarzan comic strip for a long while. He did the Star Wars comic strip at the beginning. He was also the artist on Magnus, the robot fighter. So yeah, good stuff. So that's it for this video. And since I've shown a few Charlton comics and a few westerns and an actual Charlton number 66, this video is thus dedicated to a favorite YouTuber of mine. Of course, his name is Charlton66. He's the biggest Charlton fan, of course, obviously, on YouTube. He's also a big Western fan. He shows a lot of excellent vintage comics, toys, movie posters, original arts. You have to subscribe to him. I will leave the link down below, and go watch him and go subscribe him for great content, especially if, like me, you're a Western fan. There's not a lot of us out there, so there's not a lot of stuff for us to watch. Charlton66 doesn't show only Western, of course. He shows comic books from all the range available. And he's also the biggest Gene Autry fan. And just for you, Charlton66, I'm showing you my oldest comic book, probably my oldest comic book in my collection. If not, it's my oldest Gene Autry comics. It's from July 1947. It's Gene Autry number 8. I bought this in a lot with a few early Gene Autry comics in nice condition, maybe mid-grade. They present well. And so yeah, so that's it for today. Like I said, go subscribe to Charlton66, link down below in the description. And until next time, happy trails everyone.